Hi, this is Lauren from LSP Actions, and in this video tutorial I'm going to show you how you can add your subject into the LSP Golden Glass digital background shot by Ana Brandt. This is a multi-layer digital background, meaning you've got different layers here in your layers panel for a shallow bowl, a dough bowl, the sleigh and a bucket. Great for newborns, pets and toddlers, but you can add any subjects into this, and I'm going to show you in this video how to just add a subject in without using any of the digital props. To watch the video tutorials for these other digital props like the bowl and the dough bowl, sleigh and the bucket, and also adding a dog in, adding these additional layers here which you can simply turn on or off if you wanted to, you can see the video overview and the other individual tutorials. This one I'm just going to add a subject straight into the base layer. So click on the place your subject here box. This is in orange. If you can't see your layers panel, make sure you come up to window and choose layers and click place your subject here. Ideally, you're going to want to edit your subject first, so make sure you kind of shot on a pale background, whitish or grey. Pale grey works really well for this one, and it means that you're going to be able to mask a lot easier, especially when it comes to the shadows on the floor. If you shot your subject on I don't know, an orange or a red or a blue backdrop or something like that, you're going to have to be a little bit stricter and a bit more careful with the masking to make sure you've cut them out properly and it doesn't look like they're floating, which is the same for any digital background. So click on the place your subject here, come up to File and choose Place Embedded. Locate the image on your computer and hit Place. Now the digital background is lit from the left. If your subject is lit from the right, as this one is, you can see the shadows here are facing away, you need to right click and choose Flip Horizontal. I like to slide the opacity of the layer down a little bit, so when you're resizing your subject in, you can also see the digital background behind too. And this really helps when it comes to adding your subject in. So you can resize your subject however you see fit. It really is up to you how you edit this digital. I'm just giving you some examples here on these video tutorials. Let's pop the opacity back up again now. Now you'll see the subject obviously is here on the whitish grey background, perfect for this digital because it means cutting out is going to be a lot easier and keeping some of these original shadows in is going to be a lot easier. Now you can add a layer mask by clicking on the little rectangular icon with the circle inside. That's added a white layer mask. And you can grab a brush set to black on a medium to high flow, medium to high hardness, and you can start painting the background away like this. But what I like to do on the more recent versions of Photoshop is to, let me just undo that, is to hit W on the keyboard and come up the top to select subject. If you're on the later versions of Creative Cloud, it actually makes a really good subject selection most of the time. Sometimes it gets it a little bit wrong, but most of the time it's a really good starting point. And then you can come down and add the layer mask. And you'll see it's automatically blackened out the entire image on the layer mask apart from the white subject, which has done a pretty good job here. Now I'm going to grab a brush set to white, and here we're going to brush in a little bit of the base white layer to get some of those original shadows back in. And this is why it's quite important to shoot on a pale background if you can, preferably white. And all I'm doing is really lightly clicking under here and bringing some of those shadows back in. You can hit X on the keyboard to switch to a black brush to paint some away. Just making sure you don't leave a halo around your subject and that your cutout is really very, very accurate. If you've shot your subject on a different background that isn't white, you're going to find the masking a little bit trickier, but it's absolutely fine. Let me just go back to making this original tight subject selection here, whether you've done that using the select subject or you've done that using the doing a brush and a mask manually yourself. And you'll see here, obviously, the subject is cut out and the shadows are not showing. What you can do is go on the prop shading layer and grab a brush set to white, and you can paint the shadows in yourself, like this. I'm so sorry if you can hear little voices in the background. As with most of my LSP tutorials, there are small people in this house most of the time, and even though I'm shut away in my office, you can still hear them. So you can paint your own shadows in and you can add your own editing layers too. You could also use the LSP composite actions, the digital composite actions here, and these will add all the editing layers you need to help blend, add shadows and mask and everything you need It will do it all for you. So that can be really, really helpful if you own those actions when it comes to making a realistic composite. So I'm just going to go ahead and add some of this original in because it was shot on white. So that makes everything a lot easier. I'm just going to sort this area out a little bit more. I'm using X on the keyboard to switch between a black and a white brush. Black means hide the subject and white means show. You'll really get the hang of that really easily if you're not used to editing composites. Just keep your finger on X and you can switch between black and white really, really easily. Get rid of some of that harsh shadow there. And you can also add your own editing layers too by coming down here on the adjustment option, this little icon. It's a circle, half and half. I'm going to add levels in because this is a low contrast, a nice kind of airy image. So I'm just going to slide this bottom left slider in a little bit, and you'll see that's kind of making this subject a little bit more airy, a little bit darker. So I'm just playing with these just to get the subject matching the nature of the digital background a little bit more. And I'm just going to use this brush to brush away a little bit more around here just to blend in. I'm just dabbing this around. Blend, blend, blend. It's really important when you're adding a digital background that you blend. So there we can see before and after adding the subject in. You can add any subjects into this. Literally, there is no limit to what you can add into this digital background. You could even add this little subject into a dough bowl or a sleigh. You could add several children at once. You could add animals and pets, family sitting down. Just if you've shot on a whitish grey background, that's going to make your life a million times easier. But any image, technically, you could composite in, especially if you're savvy in Photoshop. So enjoy using the Golden Glass digital background shot by Ana Brandt. This is available on www.lsp-actions.com. I cannot get my words out. And you can download this with all of the layers included. And you could turn on the extra snow as well. Let's use a layer mask just to take some of that off the face. So I've just clicked on the mask on a black brush. There's additional texture you could pop on, additional sparkles. So you can really pop these on if you want to, turn them off. It depends on what you want the image to look like. You can also add your own editing layers too. So enjoy using this digital background. It's really good fun. Oh, you can also crop as well if you hit the crop tool. You could also crop in a little bit if you wanted to. If you wanted to kind of feature your subject a little bit closer. If you've put a tiny little subject in here, for example, you may want to crop in, and that's equally a beautiful image there. Enjoy that one. Available at LSP-Actions. I'm Lauren. Thanks for watching.